Welcome to Math 155, Section 8.5, Integrated Review. So in this lecture video, we're going to take a look at how we can graph what we so-called the linear equation by, by plotting any 2 points on the line. So real quick, this graphing linear equation, two variable, let me kind of explain in a couple words here real quick. The word linear, okay, most of the time when I ask that question, students say linear means a straight line. That is correct. The word linear means straight line in the graphing form. All right. The word linear also referring to in the equation form where the variable is raising to the first power. All right. So the word linear means two different things. One of them is variable to the first power in the equation form. The word linear also means straight line when we actually graph them. All right, so here is a standard form for the linear equation. It's called the ax plus by equal to c, where a, b, and c are real numbers, and a and b are both coefficients, okay, and c is your constant. So why we call this a standard form is because the variable x and y is on the same side, okay, where the constant term on the other side, this is called the standard form. There's actually another form I'm going to introduce here, okay, which is called a slope intercept form. All right, slope intercept form is where y equals mx plus b. I will talk about this form more in detail in section 8.6, okay, integrated review. So in this form, all right, where the variable y is by itself, okay. So in a minute, when I show you how to find the 2 points, I do want you to realize that there are two different forms we'll be looking at. All right, I mentioned the wording equation of the line. It simply means every line corresponds to some linear equation, and the graph of every equation is actually a line. So in a minute, when we after we find 2 points, okay, and connect them with the line, that line is actually called the equation of the line. So I'm gonna just write it down in the standard form. Every equation is a line. Every line is an equation. All right. So we need to find at least 2 points from the equation in order to draw a line. So in the previous video, you saw how some of the problem back in 8.4 integrated review where they give me a particular value for x or y where I have to use those values to find the other variable. So now, okay, to actually find the equation, to actually find the points, we need to be the one choose any number for x or choose any number for y, okay? Try not to pick such a big numbers, okay? You don't want to pick anything bigger than 10 in either x or y. And you definitely don't want to purposely pick decimals or fractions, okay? So what I want to pick here is integers, okay? Anything between -10 to 10, all right? And whatever we choose, we're going to substitute them into the equation to find the other variable, and then so we can actually have 1 point and repeat step number 1 and 2 to find the second point. All right, so this very first one, you see this one says y equal. So when they are in this form, which is called the slope intercept form, for right now in this particular section, when you see them in y equal form, I want you to pick x, because we need to choose any number. We can choose any number for x or y. So in this form, I want you to purposely pick numbers for x. All right, what number do you want to pick x? So let's create our x and y table. Whatever you want, just not so big, okay? Got to be within -10 to 10. So I'm just gonna pick 1. So if I pick x to be 1 and substitute, then that will be y equal to -1 times 1, which would just be -1. Now, if I pick x to be 3, so why do I pick 3? Because I can pick whatever I want. Because a line technically has infinite number of points on it. That's what allows me to pick whatever value I want. I just don't want my number to be so big. So if I pick x equal to 3 and substitute that x for right here, so that will be y equal to -1 times 3, which is just going to be -3. Voila, here you go. That's 2 points. 1 -1 and 3 -3. So 1 -1 to the right one, down 1. That will be right there. So now, okay, so there are 2 ways we can do this. Okay, you can click on the coordinates, it will plot for you, or the homework will ask you to enter 2 points. Okay, so it depends on the problem. So since I'm doing this by hand, I have to go through a certain way. I have to do it the same way every time, because I have to physically connect these 2 points here in a minute. All right, now my second point, 3 -3, 1, 2, 3, down 3. All right, so once you plot these 2 points, the computer automatically draw a line for you. All right, so I'm gonna draw the line right here. Maybe it won't be that straight, but it will do it for right now. Alrighty, so let's draw this line real quick. Oh Lord. Alright, so I'm going to connect them with the line. So here you go. This is my equation of the line. And my equation is y equal to -x. So every line has an equation. Every equation corresponds to a line. All right, now this particular example here where the x and y is actually on the same side of the equal sign. So this is actually written in standard form. So when it comes to picking the number for x or picking a number for y, standard form is a little bit trickier, okay? So the easiest way to avoid any fractions or decimals, okay, is to take a look at a number in front of x and y. So right now, both my coefficients in front of x and y are 1. And both of these 1 can go into my third number on the other side. So that means I can pick either variable, okay? If both of them can go into the -4, I can pick for x or for y. So let's say if I decide to pick for y, okay, I'm going to purposely decide to pick for y. What number do I pick for the variable y? I will pick anything divisible by 1, the number that's in front of the x. Well, any number is divisible by 1, so I'm just going to pick 1 first. All right, purposely picking y to be 1. So I'm going to substitute y to be 1 into my equation. So that will be x normally minus y. Now we will minus 1 equal to -4. Since my variable term is positive, all right, I'm going to let it stay here. So when I'm picking for y, that means I'm solving for x, okay? Move the -1 over. That will be x equal to -4 plus 1, right? -1 come over, become positive. Therefore, x equal to -3. So when I pick y to be -1, my x turns out to be -3. All right, purposely picking for y again. If I want to pick another number for y, what do I pick? Well, anything I want, okay? As long as divisible by 1, the number in front of the x, then I'm good. So I'm going to pick 0. I love picking 0. 0 is divisible by 1. Because if I plug in 0 for y, so that means my equation normally says x minus y. Now it will say x minus 0 equal to -4. X minus 0, well, 0 means there's nothing there. So that term actually just nothing there. So my equation now just simply say x equal to -4. There you go. So -4 is 0. Now let's look back on something I wrote back in 8.4 integrated review where, all right, -4 is 0 for y. So on the x-axis, all the y value are 0. So that means when I plot this second point, that point better be on the x-axis. All right, so first point, negative 3, 1. So starting from the origin, go to the left 3 and down 1. So that's right there. Second point, negative 4, 0. So starting from the origin, simply go to the left 4. And the 0 for y means I do not go up and down. So here are my 2 points. I can connect them with the line. There you go. Oh, Lord, not very straight, but you get the point. Alrighty. So let's do this one right here. Standard form again. Who do I pick? So I can avoid end up with a fraction or decimal. So what you do first is look at the number in front of x and y. Which one of these can go into 10? 5 can go into 10, right? So I want to pick number for y. And why is that? Because if I'm going to pick number for y, that means I will end up solving for x. So why do I want to solve for x? Because then I'm going to pick anything that's divisible by this 5 for my y, so I can avoid having fractions or decimal. So if the 5 in front of x can go into the 10, you pick the other variable. And what number do you pick for the other variable? Anything divisible by that 5. So the first one come to my mind is going to be 5 itself. So if I pick 5 to be y, then my equation will be 5x plus 4 times 5 equal to 10. All right. So positive 4 times 5 is 20. So that will be 5x plus 20 equal to 10. So why do I want to pick a number for y that's divisible by 5? Because then at the very last step, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So I need to pick number that's divisible by 5 in order for me to avoiding fractions. All right, my 5x positive, so I move my 20 over. So that should give me 5x equals positive 10, still positive 10. Positive 20 come to the right side, become negative. So 10 minus 20, so that will be 5x equal to negative 10. Divide both sides by 5. So this is the reason why I want to pick anything divisible by 5 here, because the last step, my x turned to be negative 2. All right, so that's 1 point. Now, what do I pick for another value for y? Whatever I want, I can pick 10 next, I can pick negative 5, or I can pick 0, okay? And here's the reason why, because if I substitute 0 for y, that means my equation will now say 5x plus 4 times 0 equal to 10. Because 0 times anything is 0, so this second term, positive 4 times 0, is technically gone. So all I'm going to have here on the left side is just 5x equal to 10. So here, when I divide both sides by 5, my answer, x equal to 2. There you go. So when I pick y equal to 0, the x turns out to be 2. So now I got 2 points. I can connect them with the line. All right, negative 2, 5. So that means go to the left 2 and up 5. That would be right there. 2, 0. Starting from the origin, 2 for x means go to the right 2. 0 for y means I do not go up and down. So that point stays on the x-axis. So once I plot my 2 points, then we can connect them with the line. So here is my equation of the line. All right. Let's try. So let's take a look at these 2 examples here. Both of them are written in y equal, which is called the slope intercept form. So now we're going to pick x. Okay, pick whatever you want for x. Not so big. I'm going to pick 0 first, because I know now 0 times anything is 0. So if I pick x equal to 0, then my equation will say 3 minus 2 times 0, which we know negative 2 times 0, now second term will become 0. So the only thing left on the right side is just going to be 3. So 0, 3 is my first point. All right, another number for x, whatever I want, 1, 2, 3, whatever. I'm going to pick 2 this time. So if I pick x equal to 2, all right, substitute into my equation, that will be y equal to 3 minus 2 times 2. which will give me y equal to 3 minus 4. Right? Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. So 3 minus 4, turn with different sign, we subtract. So that will be negative 1. All right, 0, 3. So if I want to plot 0, 3, that point got to be on the y-axis because 0 for x means I do not go right or left. Y for y is 3 simply means I need to go up 3. So this point is on the y-axis. Second point, 2, negative 1, go to the right 2, and down 1. There you go. So once I plot my 2 points, I can connect them with a line. There you go. That's my equation of the line. All right, so now this one is also in slope-intercept form. Y is by itself on one side. I need to pick x, but what number do I pick for x again? I'm going to pick 0 again, which is awesome because if I pick 0 for x and substitute, that means my equation will say y equal to 2 over 3 times 0 plus 5. Now I know 0 times anything is 0, so this first term on the right side is actually technically not there. So the only thing I have on the right side, the equal sign, is my positive 5. So y equal to 5. So 0, 5 is my first point. But what about my second point? What happens if I pick 1? If I pick 1 right here, that becomes 2/3 times 1, which is 2/3. And 2/3 plus 5 is going to give me a crazy fraction that I don't want to deal with. Okay, so we need to try to clear out this denominator 3. And a good way to do it is pick anything divisible by that 3. Like 3 itself, maybe a 6, okay, a negative 3. Because if I pick x equal to 3, or anything divisible by 3 in this case, that will be 2/3 times 3 plus 5. So when I say times by that 3, my first term times 3 means 3 over 1. So the top 3, bottom 3 will cancel each other out, become 1 and 1. So now now I don't have any more denominators, so I don't really have a fraction here. So my first term is just going to be 2 times 1, which is 2, and still plus the 5. So this is how I avoid having a fraction answer here for my y. So my second point is 3, 7. So what will happen if my denominator is like a 5? Maybe like a y equal to 2 over 5x plus 5. What would you pick for x as a second point? I will pick 5 because the top 5, bottom 5 will cancel out. There you go. Trying to clear the fraction, okay? All right, 0, 5. So 0 for x means I do not go right and left on the origin. Simply go up 5 for the y value. So that's 1 point. 3, 7. So starting from the origin, go to the right 3 and up 7, 6, 7. That'll be about right here. All right, once I got 2 points, I can connect them with a line. All righty, so that's my equation of the line. All right, let's try one similar to it. This is just in the form of a word problem. All right, this problem says a cab ride in a small town costs a base fee of $5.25 per person plus 75 cents for every mile. So the cost of a cab ride for one person can be determined by this equation, y equals 0.75x plus 5.25, where y representing the y-axis representing the money we're going to pay, and the x representing the distance in miles. All right, x representing distance in miles. So graph the equation by finding 2 points that satisfy the equation. So let me just going to slide this over slightly. All right, so let me create my x and y table real quick. All right, this is written in slope intercept form. Let me just write it. Let me rewrite it. Y equal to 0.75x plus 5.25. So this is written in slope intercept form, so I'm going to pick x. So what do I pick x? I'm going to pick 0 for x again, like I did earlier. So when x equal to 0, substitute into my equation, that's y equal to 0.75 times 0 plus 5.25, which 0.75 times 0 is just 0, so this term is gone. So the only thing I have left is 5.25. So what that means is, if I go 0 distance, if I open the cab door, sit down, and says I'm not going nowhere, I still got to pay $5.25. Okay. Let's pick another number. I'm just gonna pick 1. Okay, pick 1 for x again. So when x equal to 1, that will be y equals 0.75 times 1 plus 5.25. So this is going to be y equal to 0.75 plus 5.25. So $5.25 times another 3/4. So that would just be $6. Okay. So if I go 1 mile, that will be $6. Now I want you to look very carefully here. Okay. All right. 5 is right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My x-axis is actually scale 1 at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. My y-axis is also what? My y-axis is also in the scale of 1 at a time. Okay. So when you plot these 2 points for the 5.25, you just got to be very careful. Okay. I will recommend use an arrow key on the keypad. Okay. Click right here at 0, 5, and then just press the arrow key upward 1 time and see what the coordinate says on the homework in order for you to know you are plotting 0, 5.25. Okay, a little bit tricky. All right, so for the 0, 5.25, so that would be 0 means do not go left and right, just go straight up. 5.25. So I'm gonna just move slightly above the 5 here. 1, 6. I purposely pick 1 for x, so I know my y value will be whole number. To the right one, up 6. So that'll be about right here. All right, once I plot 2 points, I can connect them with the line. So that means the more miles I travel, what this graph is showing is the more miles I travel, the more money I got to spend, of course. All right, now use the same equation, okay? Use the graph to estimating the nearest quarter, okay, of $1. So that simply means we estimate we're gonna round every quarter at a time. So for the person that rides 8 miles, so this probably simply means read the graph, okay? I'm gonna use my points. All right, 8 miles. Go to the right 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, and go up. All right, so this is 10 already. The next one is 11, slightly up right there. See the little space between 11 and where the line is? Slightly up, so that must be $11.25. That should be the answer. All right, is it though? If I will substitute 8 for x into that equation, that would be 0.75 times 8 plus 5.25. That's what the equation says, right? Very good. All right, let's see. 0.75 times 8 plus $5.25. I don't know, is it? There you go, 11.25. That must be the cost. All right, so that's my answer for the cost of riding 8 miles. All right, so in this particular lecture video, we talk about how to pick a number for x or y and substitute into the equation of the line in order to find the other value. Thus, we can get 1 point. All right, repeat the same step to find the second point so we can plot them on the graph so the computer can draw the line for us. All right, so that's how we actually find the equation. Okay, well, excuse me, that's how we actually draw the equation of the line by finding any 2 points. All right, because there are actually other type of points we are going to learn how to find in this particular section. All right, I will show you how to do that in other video. That will conclude this lecture video. Thank you for watching.